Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Panda and welcome back to Final Fantasy 13. In the last episode we had a series of very intense cutscenes. It was just a roller coaster of emotions. We also completed Chapter 8 and we are now beginning Chapter 9 here in Palamecia. So, let's get going.
Be ready for the next fight.
Yeah, those raider guys are super weak. We're going to be facing a whole lot of them.
Let's get this over.
So I don't think we've faced huntresses yet. I'm not entirely sure, but I think, yeah, this is the first time we've seen them. They're actually quite tough. And once again, we are going to be seeing a lot of them. Yeah, Hope almost already died.
Thanks.
So, while I struggle through this, I'm going to explain that this area that I'm in right now, this little hallway, the next probably 6 or 7 fights, is going to be the first place that you're going to want to grind if you want to grind. For 2 reasons. One, the CP you get here is quite decent, like 400 to 600 CP per fight, and 2, there's a high drop rate for incentive chips, and if you want to get gil early on, this is the best way to do it. Well, this is not really early on, it's chapter 8 or 9 now, but yeah, this is a good place to do it. And yeah, I know I'm probably reiterating it a lot, but for the treasure hunter achievement, it's gonna take a whole lot of gil. I'm talking probably upwards of 50 million. And throughout the main game, just through chests and stuff, you barely get like 100,000. So I'm saying, if ever you need to farm gil, or you have the chance to farm gil, this would be the first time to do it, and might as well capitalize on it. And another thing about that is you cannot return to these areas. Once you hit certain points, you can never come back unless you replay the whole game again. So that's why it's imperative for you to pick up all the chests and to take the opportunity to grind every now and again in certain areas. And this was a good one. So the drops here vary a lot. You can either get nothing, obviously, or the best you can get is 3 incentive chips and 2 credit chips, which is, what is that, 10,000? That's 85,000 gil. I might have that math wrong, but yeah, that's a lot of gil for one fight.
Nothing I can't handle. As if there was
No, I'm overthinking it. Is it? It's 500 and 2,500. No, it's 8,500 is what I meant, not 85,000. That would be crazy. But that is quite rare, though. Most of the time, you'll get 1 incentive chips or 2 incentive chips, or just 1 credit chip. But it's rare. But like I've gotten it a couple times. Last time I ran through the game.
Be ready for the next fight.
Yeah, sometimes you get seriously unlucky there, like I just did. I just got 1 credit chip, but just 500 gil. There we go, another weapon for lightning. Definitely gonna want to pick that up. But I don't know about 50 million. I'm not exactly sure how much it takes. It definitely depends on how you do it, because there's multiple methods. And I was actually wrong about the drop. It wasn't the Longi that drops that Trazodonium or whatever it's called. It's actually the Adamantus, which is it the strongest enemy in the game? I'm not quite sure. I don't think it is, but it's definitely one of them, and it takes a long time, a lot of grinding, and fighting it over and over again to get that, because that's the weapon that turns tier 2 weapons and accessories into tier 3, and you need to do that like, I don't know, 40-50 times, or you can buy it, which is, you know, it takes the luck element out of it, but they cost 2 million. I'm pretty sure it's 2 million each one. Actually, I think I'm wrong about that. It's way less than 40 times. So each character fully develops a tier 3 weapon once, and then all the accessories. So maybe it's around 20 or 30. Actually, not sure. I gotta check that out. Yeah, the memory is really faint. It was like 7 or 8 years ago I got that achievement. And it's one of the rarest achievements that you can get, and it's the most tedious and hardest one to get in this game. Well, it's debatable whether it's the hardest one, but definitely the most tedious. I've heard of people taking upwards of 150 hours to get it. So this is another fight that's really good to grind, because this guy is really blind. It's really easy to get a preemptive strike on him, and his drop is a perfect conductor, which is one of the best components you can get in the game. And this is the only place where you can fight a single one of these guys. And when you get a preempt, it's always less than a minute fight, or around a minute anyway. It'll take a little longer if the stagger wears off, but sometimes you'll get him with the smite, which does like 20,000 damage, and you usually finish him off that way. But he does some pretty nasty attacks if he gets out of the stagger. Yeah, there it is. I love it when that happens. Seeing that much damage this early in the game is awesome. And I did get that perfect conductor. It's somewhat rare. I don't know what percentage the drop is, but I think it's like half the time you get a perfect conductor. And for some reason his rare drop is a digital circuit. I don't know why, it's a lot worse of a component.
Time for another approach.
Three incentive chips, $7,500. Alright, so after about an hour and a half, I am back, and you're probably wondering why it's been an hour and a half. And well, this was the area. The enemies that I just faced were, this is the spot where I said I was going to grind, and it's not much. As you can see, I have 583,000 gil, which is quite a bit more than we had before I grinded. And as you can see, my CP is quite high as well. This was a good area because, well, you need to start somewhere with the gil. I know there are better places later on in the game, but this is one area that I know works really well because you get incentive chips. You can get up to 3 per battle, which is pretty good, and they're 25,000 a piece. So it's not a crazy amount of money, but it's definitely not, it's substantial. Anyhow, as you can see, well, I sold them all already, but basically what I did was I went back and forth until I got 99 incentive chips, sold it, and did it one more time. And it took about an hour and a half, so a little bit tedious. You know, I just put it on my favorite streamer or some YouTube or whatever. But that's what I do. They're fairly easy battles, and one of the battles gives, which one is it? Perfect conductors, which are one of the best components in the game. So you're definitely going to want to fight that guy as well. But it's just all the previous fights that I just fought. It's like the last 6 or whatever. And yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not sure how I'm going to edit this, but I'm going to continue throughout the game. And when I decide to stop, I'm probably going to do it for another 50 minutes or so. And when I decide to stop, I will basically start upgrading some stuff. 500,000 kills, enough to get maybe a few of the weapons fully up or to the 2nd tier. I'll talk more about it when I get there, because I have a list, compiled a list of every single weapon and accessory, and their 1st tier, their 2nd tier, and their final tier. And once you see the list, you'll understand more. Anyhow, I'm gonna get back to the story. So, let's get going. So my characters are quite tough. My Crystarm is maxed out for the stage that it's at. But as I recall, there are some pretty tough enemies coming up. Yeah, as you can see, I'm still getting credit chips and incentive chips, but that's gonna come to a screaming halt after this chapter is over. So I have 2 characters I know I'm going to use, one of which is Lightning, and I'm going to use her mainly as a Ravager. She is the best Ravager in the game, and Fang as a Commando.
Another approach.
I'm most likely going to skip most of these battles, because they're all enemies we faced before. This battle in particular was just long and tedious, took a couple minutes. And another lance for Fang.
Attention all crew, code green. Repeat, code green. Security forces stand by. Hostile forces on board, code green.
Get up! You're being moved! On your feet, scum! You too!
Yes.
Alright, time to split. Not run. There's a difference.
Gotcha.
Let's go.
Do I deserve to escape?
What? You'd rather die?
What?
'Cause that's gotta scare you. Scares me. Scares me so much, I think I might die of fright. So, I'll push myself to live even harder. I can just imagine Dodge laughing at me talking this nonsense. Right now, I'd do anything to see that smile. Stay positive, right?
Man, why can't we use the Chocobo in battle? And also, if she's so fucking good with that gun, that LMG that she was using, like, look how fast she killed that thing. Why is she using this weird ass tree thing? She should be using that. Oh well, I guess that would make it too easy, wouldn't it? Anyway, I leveled these guys up. Turns out I farmed 120,000 CP during that hour and a half, which is pretty good. It'll go towards fully upgrading every single role for each character. And there is still 90,000 left, so it didn't take much to fully upgrade the Crystarium in stage 6, I think it is. I wonder what the schematics of his guns are. Where you could just turn 2 pistols into a sniper rifle. Square should send me a blueprint. Well, that's a shocker. He didn't say anything when he pressed the button. Usually he's so proud of himself.
Follow the old man's lead.
I know there's just 2 of them, but the level of difficulty difference between the 2 groups are, like, insane.
They always have to make these things more complicated than they need to be.
Like Saz is doing almost 6,000 damage, and he's using a weapon that prioritizes magic as well. But yeah, the fights coming up for the other group are pretty tough. So those healing planetors are back. They're just a little tougher. They're not really that much of a big deal. So then we got Royal Armband, which I believe is a tier 2 or tier 3 of the armbands. This might be a pretty short episode. I'm gonna be skipping a lot of these fights because they're just less than a minute and just too easy. And there's a nice chunk of monster parts. We're going to be using them pretty soon, so that's quite useful.
Code purple. I repeat, code purple. Security breach. All units on alert. Code purple.
Looks like we ain't the only ones cleaning house. Could be Lucy.
Could be Fang. Come on, let's hurry.
Let's go get rescued.
No, not this time. For once in my life, I am going to save her.
All right, now you're talking. Let's go.
Code purple. I repeat, code purple. Security breach. All units on alert. Code purple.
All these colors, what's it mean?
Means we're doing our job. Making a lot of SciComm guys nervous.
Who are they fighting?
Vanille.
I'm still debating which accessory or weapon I'm going to upgrade right now. It's always tough because a lot of them you can just end up picking up along the way in the story. Like for example, the bangles, the last bangle, I forgot what the hell it was called, is the only one you need to upgrade. I think you go from platinum to whatever the last one is. All the other ones you pick up along the way. So upgrading those would be a waste of time and money and resources, obviously. So yeah, you're going to want to choose wisely what you're going to upgrade, especially if you're going to start early. A lot of people just save this achievement for the end, but I want to get a whole bunch of it out of the way. But your best bet is just to do weapons, because you're going to need all the tier 2 weapons. And, well, obviously you're going to do the weapons that you want to use first. And when I was doing a bit of research before playing the game, I heard that you could buy tier 2 weapons, but I don't think that's true at all. Because what would be the point of the catalysts? And it costs so much just to upgrade a weapon to tier 2. And speaking of tier 2 weapons, I'm going to be using the Edged Carbine for lightning. She is arguably the best Ravager, that or Saz, just because of, well, Cold Blood is better than army of one. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I might use both of them actually, because having really good chain bonuses is very important. But I'm still not 100% sure. I know for a fact I'm not going to use Snow. So it's either Saz, Vanille, or Hope as my third member. Hope, I'm strongly thinking about using Hope because he is also a very good Ravager. His Synergist, he's the best Synergist in the game, and Synergist is probably my favorite role to use. So it's a debate, man. I'm not sure, and I'm having difficulty talking again. I'm struggling to win this fight. I doubt I'm gonna 5-star it. But yeah, a couple of my friends used Snow when they played this game, and I don't understand why. Like, he's the best Sentinel in the game. His commando's alright. All his magic is trash. Like, he is the worst magic out of all the characters. So his Ravager is easily the worst. His Synergist, I guess, is okay, and Saboteur sucks. Like, all he's got is decent attack and the highest defense and highest HP. So I guess he works okay as a tank, but other than that, you need those chain bonuses. You need to have magic. He's just not a good character for this game. And well, another reason why you choose Saz over Vanille and Hope too is, well, the health is a lot higher, because both the other two characters are very frail. But, oddly enough, the most popular team I saw when I was researching was Fang, Saz, and Vanille, which is, I didn't even consider it. I like using Lightning too much. Her commando's awesome. The way she moves around on the field too, like, it's underrated. And best Ravager in the game, especially if you use that Edge Carbine. It's just so much damage, so much chain bonus, and even with the Edge Carbine, she does a lot of damage as a commando, and she casts spells faster than anyone else. I guess Hope does, but yeah, she's very quick. Plus, on top of that, her strike attacks, like her elemental strike attacks, are so good. They do so much damage and they're so quick. And I am picking Fang, and it's the first time I'm ever gonna use her. The first couple times I played through, I used Lightning, Hope, and Vanille.
Change of plan.
And it turned out to be a pretty damn good team. But yeah, Fang, I don't know. She's the best commando, but she just seems sluggish to me. It's just something I'd have to get used to. And the reason being is Fang learns every single ability for the commando role, which Lightning doesn't. And she actually doesn't learn the best ability, which is Adrenaline. And that's why some may argue that Snow is better than Lightning. Well, he is for the commando role, but Lightning is all around just a better character. And man, I've been here for a while. I'm running out of shit to say. You know, part of me is leaning towards having Hope as a third member.
Change of plan.
Actually, maybe not. I don't know. Fang is not a very good synergist. Lightning, I don't know. It's so hard to say.
Didn't even break a sweat.
Saz is the best synergist in the game. Lightning probably second. Either that or Hope. It's just a tough decision. I might just go Saz because I haven't used him before.
Nothing I can't handle.
Alright, so some more new enemies here. These guys use Eroga, which is one of the coolest looking spells in the game. You'll probably see it pretty quick here. Which reminds me, Hope can actually be used as a commando as well, because he learns Ruinga, which is one of the most powerful spells in the game. So you're going to want to take at least one of these guys out as quickly as you can, because if they chain those together, It'll kill you in one round pretty much. And that's one thing I love about these games is all the gas spells. Even like Sloga and all those the gas spells, the tier 3 spells, all look amazing. It's crazy what they look like on the battlefield. When you get on later in the game, when you're facing the tougher enemies, when you trade off those gas spells, it becomes so chaotic. The whole screen is just covered with magic pretty much. It looks so awesome. Anyway, I believe there is one more other unique fight in this area, this little circle area, and the rest are repeats. I'm gonna fight them all just because I want the CP and the dropped items, and there are 4 chests as well. Yeah, I usually don't get 5 stars when I have to resort to a combat clinic. So there we got another accessory, the pain dampener. There aren't that many enemies that inflict pain, but against the ones that do, it's actually a useful item. So we got another one of these shell enemies.
New strategy.
Oh fuck, he's targeting lightning, isn't he? You leafy, autumn-looking mongrel. Alright, trying this again.
Stay down.
This time I'm gonna be a little more careful,
Off balance.
trying to protect lightning.
Time for another approach.
Because they all ganged up on her. So it's the same as last time. You used photon burst, but it doesn't really do that much damage. I just got really unlucky there.
Change of plan.
Yeah, it's why you pull out the bully every now and again. Gotta cast protective shell and stuff. Yeah, this game definitely does have a lot of luck. I guess all Final Fantasies do.
Keep the enemy off balance.
But yeah, this is going a lot more smoothly. A lot more quickly, actually. I took those other guys out really quickly. Oh, and Fang apparently has a new spell. It's that anti-vigilance, which I don't even understand how that works. Because vigilance disrupts enemy attacks and like eliminates their gauge. So if you have anti-vigilance on someone, does it mean that? No, I don't understand what that means. Well, that went a lot better than last time. And I found out that when I was talking about de-vigilance, it is technically de-vigilance because it's like the opposite of vigilance, but it's actually called curse, and it causes own abilities to fail often. So honestly, not all that useful. How did I ever lose to this thing? It's probably because those other flying creatures that cast Eroga. I just got stupid and lucky. But luckily there is no consequence to dying and retrying. So we got a white cape there, which is pretty useless. It resists fog, which prevents magic attacks, and it's not all that useful. It was a lot more useful in earlier games.
As if there was any doubt.
That's a sick way to end the battle. So, this is probably one of the more boring areas in the game. I personally don't like it at all. It's just a bunch of repeat fights, and I don't know, it's annoying. Like, the one with the 3 Vikings just takes so long. And people just probably skip it. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, yeah, I'd be skipping it too if I wasn't doing the treasure hunter achievement. And obviously all the other achievements, because I need all the CP and all the drops that I can get. And also, if you don't know where the chests are, you're gonna have to fight through some of these fights. I know there are speedrunners of this game who can pretty much skip every single fight, like run past. And even if they get into the fight, if they hit the retry button, there's ways around it. I'm not sure if the creators wanted you to actually go through with fighting this, because it's like a 7-minute fight, and they probably just mean for you to just walk by. Because I'm pretty sure you can get all the chests by only fighting 3 of these battles. Or maybe even none of them, I don't know. I haven't tried it. Or seen a speedrun for that matter.
Hardly worth the effort.
Alright, so I'm almost done with the middle ring. I just pretty much went all the way around the outside. Got the 2 chests on the outside, there's 2 chests on the inside, and one of them is very important. I'm pretty sure I got all the fights here. Yeah, I'm just gonna head to the middle now. I think I missed out on the perfect conductor there. I skipped it too fast. And that's the item I was talking about, the Rhodochrosite. Those are the items that upgrade your accessory or weapon into tier 2, which is very important. Alright, and I believe that this was the last fight of this area.
Colonel, we've lost the intruders.
That means we're code yellow. No, wait. Code blue? If we were orange, that would mean...
The escapees made it through! They're entering the engine room!
No! Damn the sea!
Intruders located! They're on the weather deck, starboard side!
Make it rain!
Desperate times demand flexibility. Code white.
Well, it's code white now. I guess we're all fucked.
Power's down. What's going on?
Alright, so here we are, like I said we'd be. I have my list here, and well, it's the first time doing this for me. I've never actually captured anything on the windows before. So It's my list. It's a very simple list. I copied it off a website, so it just looks kind of weird. Don't mind the numbers. And so basically what we're going to start doing is crossing off, you know, all the weapons that we have already. And I'm just going to show one example, probably cut out the rest because it's pretty obvious. And so here are the weapons we've acquired already, and there's quite a few, and we will be picking up the rest throughout the rest of the game. And I don't know if there are some weapons that you have to buy. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see as we go on. But so as you can see, we have, well, we should categorize everything first, and it gets categorized into the weapons for each character. So obviously the Gladius, Edge Carbine are all lightnings, and so on and so forth. I'll do the same for the accessories. Categorize, and yeah, so go to weapons. Blaze Fire Saber is done. Get rid of that, and you go on. So basically here, the one I just deleted was the tier 1, and the Flamberg is tier 2. So once you upgrade that and have this weapon in your inventory, you can get rid of it. And it goes basically, what am I doing? So it goes tier 1, so Axis Blade's tier 1 weapon. It goes to the Enkindler, which is its tier 2. Edge Carbine's tier 1. Razor Carbine is tier 2. And it keeps going. And all these weapons, once you hit them to tier 3, they all become the Omega weapon. So you only need, so let's say the Lionheart goes to the Ultima weapon, and you only need to make that into a tier 3 into the Omega weapon once. You don't have to do it for every single one. So that being said, I'm just going to delete or cross off all the weapons that I have here, and then we'll see what the list looks like after that. So this is Panda from the future or present or whatever. So as you might notice as this goes on, the way I did this, like this early on, is completely inoptimal. There are like ingots that you can get that are worth quite a bit of money, and it is pretty much not that much, like not that worth it to do what I did, but it's still like incredibly substantial. Like 500,000 is quite a bit of money, and the Crystarium I got was pretty good too. So I enjoy the grind as well. It's fun, like watching the progression and seeing all these weapons get upgraded this early in the game, and having that like as a base point, because starring all the weapons first is just, it makes it so much easier for the future. Plus the CP I got was substantial as well. I maxed out the Crystarium with 80,000 left, so that goes towards like all the mastering all the roles and stuff like that. Alright, so now that I've crossed off all the weapons, I'm gonna move on to the accessories. And once again, I'm gonna reiterate, do not upgrade any of these. The only one you have to worry about for the bangles is this one, the Word Sight bangle. This is a bangle you can get later on in the game somewhere. I think an enemy drops it or something. It might be one of the Seath missions. But once you upgrade that to the Word Sight bangle, every single other bangle you acquire during the story of the game. Alright, so I've done most of the list. I'm having difficulties. The website I got it from says Starfall Pendant, and what I have here, it says Star Pendant. So I'm not sure if that's the same thing. I'm not sure if that's a tier 2 because I don't see Star Pendant anywhere on my list anywhere, and I even tried to control F it and said it's not there. Anyway, I'll figure that out later, and right now what I'm going to do is the upgrading. Alright, so here we are in the upgrade station, and well, might as well sort our stuff. I guess it already is. So what you're going to want to do is on the top, when you sort everything out, there are all the monster parts, and what they do basically is they give a multiplier, and on the bottom are all the, or not the bottom, but close to the bottom are all the actual components that that actually give so the experience. So as you can see, 0 out of 420. You're gonna try to want to get a star on the weapon that you are upgrading, and once it has a star, which is level like 13 or 14, I can't remember, it will give you an option to use these bottom, so the Millerite, Rhodochrosite, and Uranite. Those are all the things that put it up to the next tier. I don't know how well I am explaining this, but I'm doing my best. So what you want to do is these, it's gonna do it soon because these are really weak. So experience bonus times 1.25. So you want to keep going, keep doing this until you get 3 times experience bonus. So 1.5. So I improved the level, experience bonus times 2. So level improved yet again. Taking this as slow as possible because you don't want to waste anything. So experience bonus 3. So future upgrades will receive 200 times or 200% experience bonus. So 300 total. So I'm not sure if this is, yeah, 282. Okay, so tier of frustration. It doesn't show you which ones are components and which ones are monster parts, but you can tell by the, as you can see, experience 57. This is where the components start. As you can see, it's quite high. So what you want to do is now that you have 3 times, you're going to want to save. So I'm still unclear as to what I'm going to do here. I think the best thing to do to get a star, I believe, I'm going to try this. So you're going to want to do it all in one go. And the reason for that is once you start using components, that multiplier, that times 3, goes down, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to do it all in one go. That way you don't waste monster parts. So level 13, it's not ideal. As you can see, the multiplier is gone. So it's not that big of a deal. We are just going to go ahead and raise it back up. 1.5, 1.75 times 2. Times 3, and save again. Alright, so I'm not sure how much is left here. The reason I say save is because you can go over. I'm gonna try this. Alright, so I'm gonna keep trying until I get that star, and I want to minimize the amount of components used, because if you go over the star, it's just a waste of the components. So level 17, I'm just gonna reset again. And I use 6 of them. 6 silicone oil. Alright, so none of that worked. I am gonna try this. So you can see, perfect conductors are very powerful. That's why I farmed them. So that's a star. But ideally, you don't want to use all your components. Like I used 10 perfect conductors there, so I'm gonna quit yet again. I'll try 8. 8 is too much. I think the magic number is 7. So I'm going to keep it at that. 7 perfect conductors. Might seem like a bit of a waste, but considering all the money we have and how much money we're gonna farm later, that's ideal. So the edge carbine now has a star, and when you click on it again, okay, so these catalysts are not the ones to upgrade the edge carbine, but we want to keep them anyway for the ones that do get upgraded by these ones. And I'm gonna figure out which one the edge carbine needs. Alright, so after a bit more research, turns out that you need perovskite, which is a drop from an enemy later on in the game, and it's one that can only be obtained or dropped like in an area that you cannot return to. So past, I think it's chapter 10, chapters 11 through 13 cannot be, once you pass through them once, you cannot go back. So I'm not going to be upgrading this weapon quite yet, but in the meantime I'll be doing the same thing or attempting to do the same thing and get stars on every single weapon that I currently have. And well, I'm gonna record it all. I might just speed it up, I'm not sure. Whatever I did, well, it's the first time doing this at all. So that being said, let's do it up. Alright, and I'm back. So I decided not to record the upgrading, because I basically gave you the first example with the first weapon that I used. What was it, the Axis Blade? Which one did I decide to use? The Edge Carbine, that's the one. And yeah, so I gave you the example for that, and I did the same thing for quite a few of our weapons here. And as you can see, I am very short on gil now. And well, that 500 grand only went so far, obviously. There's still quite a few for me to do, and I believe there are 48 weapons total, 8 for each character. So we have just maybe gone a quarter of the way. And so yeah, it shows you the insane amount of grinding and how annoying it is to actually get this achievement. It's easily the most taxing, it takes the longest. I heard upwards of 150 hours just to get this one. So I will show an example actually now of upgrading to tier 2, because I have not done that yet. And there's only 2 weapons that can do that right now, and that is the Airwing and the Gladius. And right now I'm going to do the Gladius because I'm actually using that weapon. I'm not going to be putting on the Edge Carbine until I upgrade it to tier 2. So, upgrade weapons, Gladius. So the Uraninate. These three, I believe, are only for accessories or for weapons that we do not have at the moment. So the most important components and the ones you need to get are the perovskite. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. You need like 40 of them, at least, for this game. You need quite a few Uraninite. I'm not exactly sure how many, but quite a few. And there are Templars, Psychom Templars, in chapter 12 and 13. I don't remember which exactly, where you can use to farm. And again, as I mentioned before, there are areas which you can like once you get through them twice, or once you get through them once, you cannot get through them again. So once you beat the game, you can't go through that part of the game again, and you can only go back to chapter 10. And from then on, the only real way of getting these items, don't mind the crankshaft and the iron shell, these ones, I'll do this again. So Uraninite, Millerite, whatever the fuck that says, all are the catalyst you need to upgrade the tier to whatever weapon or accessory that you're upgrading. So I'm gonna upgrade type modified. The Gladius is now the Helter-Skelter, and as you can see, it actually went down with strength and magic, but the what happens is once you start upgrading it again, it will regain its strength to a higher capacity. So you need to do that with every single weapon, and not every single accessory, obviously, because some of them you can find at different tiers, but every single weapon, and that makes it so difficult to do because grinding and farming catalyst just takes so long. And eventually there is going to be a way to farm guild that is fairly quick, but we're not going to be able to do that for a while. There is an area coming up that I will be grinding some more incentive chips and credit chips, and just bear with me here. I'm going to, where is it? It's probably near the top, and there it is, the Helter-Skelter. So after all that, bam, just one weapon I'm taking off. And well, it didn't exactly take the 500,000 gil, but I basically made it a lot easier for me to upgrade them once I do get the catalysts. So I think that is it for this episode. So thank you everyone so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Toodles.